So let's talk about, I'm pretty sure, Andrew's favorite conference.
Okay, well, okay. Just before you do this, okay, I'm ready.
You know what? You introduce. You introduce. I'll let you have this one because this is
Okay,
yours.
so basically, I don't know who announced. I don't like. There was some company named Sony, and they came out
They're
on
kind of a
E3. I
big
think it
deal.
was their first year because I've never heard of them before. And you know what? Sony's not even the important thing here. So Shenmue 3 got announced.
As I told Reno,
Like we're not even doing this in order. We're just gonna hit you with the fact.
as
Shenmue
I told
3,
Reno, I told
Final
Reno,
Fantasy 7 HD.
fucking Sony confirmed the existence of unicorns.
Yeah. Okay. So we will go a bit in order because, I'm feeling I'm gonna cry right now
Last
just talking
Guardian
about this right now.
That, like no one.
It's been a week and I'm still feeling like crying.
Like the last, like when I watched it with Louis. I watched it with Louis, and because Reno was out, and I was like, okay, and we were watching The Last Guardian, and I'm sitting here like, this is not fake, and he's like, the more of it I'm watching, I'm like, no, this isn't real. Like this isn't a thing. I'm excited, but I'm like, this isn't real. Like I'm dreaming. I must have literally just died. Like a tree fell through my house,
Because they were so
I'm-
nonchalant about it. They're just like,
saying
hey,
that.
Last Guardian, go.
and we're like, I'm like, "Ooh," like this is like I was talking, and Louis was even asking me, he's like, Christian, is this real? I'm like, Louis, is this real? I'm like, are we dead? I didn't know this was a thing. I'm excited for it. It looks great. I love the chicken dog. It looks cool.
Oh yeah, it was like a chicken dog thing. I don't
Yeah.
even.
And I was just like, I didn't even think that was a real thing. I was like, this isn't. I'm still not sure if that actually happened. To be completely honest with you,
I don't blame you.
It looked so good
it
because
does.
it wasn't
Oh,
Eco.
not
Yeah,
even-
I'm super excited for that game. It's finally happening. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy that it's finally happening. And then, right after hitting us with unicorn number 1, because there were many unicorns throughout the night, they hit us with a brand new IP that looked
right.
on my jaw. This game, out of
Looks
all the new
sick.
games that were announced, like new IPs, this was the head over heels the best new IP that
Oh,
I have
totally.
ever seen.
What was the? It was Last Guardian, and then it was.
Horizon?
Horizon. Fucking Monster Hunter with robots.
Oh, that one. Wait. Was that the trailer with like the
Yeah.
giant metal monster and like the woman stabs
Yeah, like it
with
started
some,
off
like...
as a trailer, and they were talking about how society collapsed, and then it actually went into the gameplay of the
Yeah, that's very.
tribeswoman
I
just sneaking through
That
the.
looks sick, man.
That
cannot wait.
looked amazing.
That looks so good.
Guerrilla Games, they did a couple shell shock games, which are like Vietnam World War II shooters,
They're horror shooters.
and the first couple that Guerrilla did were actually pretty average. Then they moved on to Killzone. They did nothing but Killzone for the next like decade and a half, and now they're finally working on something new. And my goodness,
God, I'm excited.
it looks amazing. It's a fresh new idea, and I'm not even going to go into why certain people are complaining about it, because they don't deserve
They're
to have
wrong.
their opinion validated. Because
They're wrong.
no, I'm not gonna say it. The game looks super fun. It looks super interesting, super fresh, and it looks like it's actually taking advantage of the PS4 hardware. I feel like we're finally starting to get to that point to where we're seeing games take advantage of what next gen can do that last gen
Oh,
couldn't do, and I
Totally.
could not be happier.
And finally, we will have people who will stop complaining that this game is not on last gen.
So let's go on to Andrew. Let's go on to Unicorn number 3.
Hold on.
Wait,
Unicorn number
we're
2
still
and
on.
3 have not been
we didn't
announced
get
yet.
to 2.
At this
Oh,
point,
let's
we
see.
saw the Street Fighter 5 trailer,
No, we already did that thing.
and yeah, it was leaked. But it was still super cool. I watched a lot of Street Fighter 5 gameplay after all the things were done.
It was
Capcom
really cool.
did like a
I'm
bunch of
enjoying it.
skirmishes and tournament and stuff like that. They got up like K-Brad, Daigo, Takedo, a bunch of crazy big name players to play. It looks super fun, and Birdie and Cammy, the 2 new characters, look hype as all hell. I've never been much of a Cammy fan, but Birdie, as someone who did not play the Alpha series up until that point,
I don't
Birdie
know-
was
me
brand
and
new
Reno-
to me. And
me and Reno
holy
played
shit,
Alpha
that
for a
character's
bit.
hilarious.
Me and Reno played Alpha for a bit at Final Round. Birdie looks like he plays a lot differently than he did in Alpha.
He doesn't
But-
use, you know, he's still,
He looks different.
yeah, he plays different.
Yeah. He
'Cause
also
he doesn't have 360s.
he also used to not be that fat.
No, he was that fat.
It's just funny because he eats donuts.
Yeah, he's donuts like a
He just
motherfucker.
eats donuts and gets meter, and it's great. And
Anyway,
he also does stupid damn. He just looks like a lot of fun. Street Fighter V is definitely a game that I'm super excited for. I'm liking pretty much everything I see about it, and I feel like it's gonna be the redeemer because I was not a big Street Fighter 4 fan in terms of playing it. I love watching the game. I could watch that game for hours. It's super hype. But playing it, I don't know
It's
what it
just
is,
over.
and Christian feels the same way I do. Just
Man,
does not
can't
click with
get
me.
into it. So Andrew, I'm gonna let you do it. Go ahead with your unicorn.
Okay, so Unicorn 2 happened at a little. I don't even know if something happened in between this and what Unicorn 2, but we're announcing Unicorn 2. Fuck you. So Final Fantasy VII is being remade.
But Andrew has to tell us some things.
Um,
Are we not talking about the other unicorn? Like,
we'll talk about
no,
Unicorn, the
because-
most important
because-
unicorn. We're saving the
this-
best for last here, buddy.
No, because this specific.
There are like 5 unicorns. Okay, don't rush me. We're talking about the unicorns in order that I see fit. Unicorn number 2 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's finally happening. People have been clamoring for it ever since that really awesome tech demo that they showed on PS3 that would basically show what the intro scene of Final Fantasy VII would be like if it was done on PS3 hardware. They did that in like 06,
yeah.
05. Ever since then, people have been clamoring for it. It's finally happening, and it's going to be a full-on remake. It's not just going to be, you know, we're going to retexture and remodel everything with PS4 level graphics. They're going to redo all the cutscenes. They're going to, you know, add in some new things, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it. I have my own issues, but I'll let you guys talk about it before I go into my.
Never played 7.
I played a little bit of 7. I have a funny story with 7 actually.
Go for it.
So, I got 7 on PC, and this was back when, a few years ago, when Square Enix didn't really know how to PC, and you had to log in and play. You had to log in and play it online. Like you had to be connected to an online connection, or you could not play Final Fantasy VII on PC. I shit you not. And my friend, a guy I used to work with, he goes, "Hey man," and a big thing I was upset about was like, why isn't these at least like retextured to look a little bit better? He's like, you can like put in HD models to the game. And I'm like, and here I am thinking like a dumbass, like, oh cool, I guess that means I can just do an HD port. That'd be sick. I'll play it then. And then I'll play it, look at it, it only HD textured like the player models. Everything else looks like PS1. I was like, this is just stupid. Like, and the amount of work that it takes to do it is so asinine and backwards, and it's just a bunch of shit you have to do.
When did you do that?
I never did it
No,
because I was
when
like,
did you
fuck.
when did you hear about the HD? When did you like realize that the Steam version? Because like the Steam version was actually based off of the PC version, which came out like a couple years after the PS1 version.
I never.
Which is why it's not a huge overhaul. It's just like
I got it
slightly
on
increased
sale.
textures.
I got it on sale for like $2, so I was
Okay,
like,
well, yeah, that's why it
I
doesn't
didn't
look
really
so
do
much.
a lot.
That
Yeah, I didn't do a
impressive.
lot of research into it. I was like, Final Fantasy VII, like $2 to $5. Fuck it, whatever. So I was like, okay, so I got it, and I didn't do any research on it. But it was just funny to me because this guy went through all this work, like, look at my HD models, and I'm like, yeah, but the rest of the game still looks like it's in PS1, so it looks stupid.
Yeah, right. I loved that so much.
It's just so stupid. The dumbest thing.
You know, you said you never played 7?
Nope.
I actually used. That's how I. When my baby brother was born.
Because you already know me. I'm not.
Yeah, he's not a big RPG guy. Another story is when my baby brother was born. He used to sit in front of my laptop and watch me play Final Fantasy VII. He really likes Final Fantasy VII. It's kind of funny. So I'm kind of excited. I know. I'm kind of excited for this because I want to get that and have him sit down. Because I hope it's old. It comes out when he's old enough to be cognitive, like fully cognitive. I'd be like, hey man, this game when you were a baby, you used to sit in front of me and watch me play this, and here it is HD. And I would like to have an experience where I just sit down with him and play through and have something like that. I think it'd be really cool. I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm definitely excited for it too. Final
You're a
Fantasy VII
Final
was the
Fantasy.
first. It was the first JRPG I ever played. I was like 8 years old. No,
Did you play that one with your dad, or is
I
that
was
just...
6. I was 6. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. 8 was the first time I beat it by myself. 6 was the first time I beat it. I was with my uncle, who was in early high school at the time. He would come over and babysit me on weekends and stuff when my mom worked. And so to pass the time, we just played video games. And 7 was the one that, one of the games that we just decided to play. I talked him into it. I had the strategy guide and everything like that. We 100% completed the game that weekend. We literally put like 60 hours into a save file, collectively. Like, when one of us we would take turns sleeping. We never stopped playing the game. That PS1 was a fucking champion for not dying in that 60-hour stretch.
Wait, you guys just played it like non-stop?
Non-stop. We beat
That's
all
actually
3
fun.
discs. We went through, got a golden chocobo, beat all the chocobo races. We beat Ruby Weapon, but we couldn't beat Emerald because we couldn't figure out how, and this was, you know, before the internet could tell us how, and the guide only had this like really short excerpt in the back saying, get the underwater materia so the time limit's gone. It's like, great. That doesn't help me at all. I can't survive the 20 minutes, let alone need to more time. Oh god. But heck, it was super fun. And me and him were talking about it, and we're actually whenever this game decides to come out, we're gonna actually take like 2 or 3 days off of work, collect both of us, and we're just gonna sit together and we're just gonna go and play a JRPG like we did it back in the day, because we don't really do that anymore because he moved out, he's, you know, got his own job. I have a full-time job now and everything like that, so it's not the same. I'm definitely really excited to, you know, relive some old memories and to see how it stacks up. But one thing about the trailer that I really noticed that was odd and no one's really talking about is the fact that in the original Final Fantasy VII, the director was Yoshinoro.
See, I didn't know this. I didn't know this until you told me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother saying his last name because I don't know how to pronounce it. You all know who I'm talking about anyway, if you know.
Yeah.
Yoshinoro was the guy who directed the original Final Fantasy VII. And he came through on multiple occasions in interviews. And this was around the time when Final Fantasy X Remaster was coming out, because it was his team that was doing it. People were asking, well, what about 7 Remaster? What about a 12 Remaster? And he was like, well, I would do a 12 Remaster, and as for a 7, I don't feel like my team is ready enough mentally, and I don't think we feel like we have the manpower. I don't feel like I'm mentally prepared. I don't feel like we have the money. I don't feel like because this would be, you know, my life's work. This would be my magnum opus. This would be the most important thing I've ever done, and I don't want to mess it up. So I don't think I'm ready. If all these pieces ever fell into place and I would totally do it. And that was a little under a year ago when he would actually say stuff like that. No one really asked him about it up until then. And watching the trailer, I noticed that he's not even the director on the project. Tetsuya Nomura, who was directing Final Fantasy 15 originally, before that whole takeover, or not takeover, but before he switched positions and stopped working on it to work on KH3 more. He's also the Kingdom Hearts 3 director of the whole series, really. And he also does artwork for most of the Final Fantasy games, but Kingdom Hearts is really the only thing he's really directed. He's directing the remake of 7. And I feel like he's talking about making drastic changes and stuff like that. And mind you, this is a guy who almost made Final Fantasy 15 a musical rhythm game.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tetsuya Nomura was at a concert, and he was so happy after the concert that he almost went and made Final Fantasy 15 a musical rhythm game about a boy band and stuff like that. Which, all jokes aside of how that's basically what they ended up with anyway, that's kind of... I don't trust a man with that kind of judgment with Final Fantasy VII, one of the most important and influential games in the history of the medium.
Final
Call me
Fantasy
crazy.
VII. Final Fantasy VII, the experience.
And
Oh, nice.
it's just...
On ice.
Something about that guy
Get
just...
to choose Ares or Tifa on ice.
Boob physics on ice. And he's talking about making all these drastic changes to the story and everything like that, and it's just...
It depends.
I feel like Square Enix... I feel like, okay, because Tetsuya has also talked about, in the past and now, he's talking about wanting to remake more than just 7. I feel like Square Enix was like, okay, so people want this and want to throw money at it like there's no fucking tomorrow, and Yoshinoro isn't ready to direct it. He doesn't want to direct it, not yet. So why don't we just give this to Tetsuya, since we know he's a crazy bastard and he'll do it. And I feel like they're really forcing it, and I'm really, really terrified that Tetsuya Nomura is going to ruin this game. And I'm telling you right now, if he ruins this game, he's gone.
He's fired.
He's not just. We might not find the body.
He's gonna end up like that one Blast Blue player. Has anybody heard from him? That was like 3 years ago.
I don't think so.
I think he actually
Evo's
went
coming up.
bad.
We'll see if he comes for Guilty Gear.
I think he died.
Probably. I would have died too if I was him. That's horrible.
Hey,
Anyways, off
hey.
topic. But I'm excited, but I'm really, really worried because they're not playing with fire, they're playing with a forest fire right now. It's terrifying.
What's even worse, and this is another thing, this isn't just his career on the line. I will go as far as saying
This is probably like
this
history
is
on the
Square.
line.
This is
This is
Square.
Square's-
Like this is history.
This is
This
literally
is gaming
Square.
history. This is millions of people who aren't even JRPG fans but love Final Fantasy VII. This is an
This is-
entire genre.
Yeah.
Like, this
This
man
is-
has an entire genre that he is directing the remake of right now, and he cannot be trusted.
Like, this is Square on the line. If this
I'm
fails at all, I would be
Positively
surprised.
terrified of how this game's going to turn out.
Yeah, like if if this fails, Square will probably go away, or at least take a major financial hit, and then go mobile like Sega.
Not even I don't think they'll take a financial hit. They'll take such a major fiscal hit and hit to their image as a company, and it'll just hurt them so much, and people won't trust them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It'll ruin them in every way. They'll continue making games, yeah, people will still buy their stuff, but damn, will they be the butt of every joke. And it won't even be a joke, it'll just be like legit threats. Like, people send death threats over saying 7's a bad game, so if they mess up a remake of 7, Lord help them.
Oh yeah.
Lord can't help them. Because they will enter a new level of weeb hell that we have never seen before.
I think like World War III might actually happen. and like I'm not saying
Final
this is a
Fantasy
joke.
VII is so bad.
I'm not even saying this is like a joke. You're just gonna have like a whole entire subculture of weebs just
Obama's
destroy
gonna
America.
play Final Fantasy VII Remake, and his last thing before he is no longer president, he's just gonna declare war on Japan for having it suck. I can see that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even blame him.
It's gonna be on like Channel 7 War on Terror, Square Enix fails to meet customer surprises.
But yeah, Final Fantasy VII, unicorns are real. It's being remade. We don't have any gameplay on it. They said that we'll see more in winter of this year. And probably won't be coming out until 2017 at the earliest.
And Shenmue 3.
I hate you, Reno.
Go ahead and talk about it. This is what you've been waiting for.
No, Reno, you talk about it.
I don't know anything about shit.
Okay, so basically,
Forklift
right
Simulator.
after
got
they
sent.
announced the Final Fantasy VII remake, they talked about, they brought, okay.
Yes.
I can't even talk straight. So, okay, right after they announced the Final Fantasy VII remake, they came back out on stage. Adam Boyes was like, okay, so we have something else to show you guys.
Fucking Adam Boyes, he had a list. He had a fucking list.
He did have a list. He pulled it out in the middle of the
He
fucking
had a fucking
conference.
list.
And then he says, look at the screen. We all look at the screen. And then that familiar tune starts playing.
It was a Sakura blast.
Shenmue style music starts playing. We see the pedals. And then, for years, the story of Shenmue had been left unfinished. And then Yu Suzuki starts talking about wanting Shenmue 3. And then I started crying. I didn't even see Shenmue 3 pop up on the screen.
You don't
I
have
started
to, at that
crying.
point, you didn't have to see it.
And then I saw the actual in-game models of what they had worked on so far, and saw that it was like a real thing. Like, I'm not being punked right now. Ashton Kutcher isn't about to be a dead man by my hands. No, this is a real thing, and Sony is helping fund Shenmue 3. And they're also doing a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter was essentially to not only build starting funds, but also to show investors at Sony because, which I'll explain in a bit, but basically just to show investors that the game was worth investing in. Because the thing a lot of people people have been slinging mud at this project, and it drives me up the wall. Probably because I'm a fucking Shenmue fanboy. But, people have been saying, well, why doesn't Sony just fund it? It's, false advertising. It's a waste of money, man. They're ripping gamers off. We're fucking idiots. Shenmue is a project that Yu Suzuki has gone to countless publishers and asked for funding. And countless times they have said no.
He isn't like a stay-at-home guy, like wishing. No, he goes out of his way to ask people, I kind of want this. Can you help me out here?
Like, he's gone to so many big names and little names alike, and no one wants to help him out.
And it's stupid because, like,
why
wouldn't
you look at the sales of Shenmue because it was on a dead console, and it didn't sell very well. It reviewed really well, but it didn't sell really well. And Shenmue as a series, it had been so long since the last game. Most investors were just like, people don't care enough. It's not gonna sell well. It's not gonna make us the money back. And Shenmue is an expensive fucking game to make. And Sony investors were the same way. But people like Adam Boyes personally believed in Yu Suzuki-san so much that they organized this Kickstarter and they organized this E3 announcement specifically to show that Shenmue has a following and that Sony investors should invest in this game and help make it a reality.
And it broke. Holy shit.
And it has broken and set new records with how popular it was. It literally is the only thing that has ever broken Kickstarter. It made history as breaking Kickstarter. Because you couldn't get on the website.
Yeah, it busted it. It's actually, right now, it's at $3.5 million. It's funded.
And we still have over 20 days left.
Oh, yeah.
It's
plus PlayStation investment.
Exactly. Which they're not disclosing their numbers, obviously. Which is fine. I don't know why people are upset about that. It's like, do you go around to every fucking game ever being made and be like, how much are you making this for? What's the budget? No. Dumbasses. But yeah, Shenmue 3. I grew up as a Sega fanboy, and then when Sega died, I was always sort of a Sony fanboy as well, but especially once the Dreamcast was officially dead, I switched over to Sony full-time, and I've always been a Sony guy. So to hear that my two favorite and most nostalgic companies of all time, and Shenmue's being a classic Sega IP and Sony being Sony, to hear that they're teaming up to make this a reality, and one of my favorite franchises and one of the most amazing franchises in the history of video games is finally getting the third and final chapter in the series, I cannot express how happy it makes me. Hands down my favorite announcement in the history of video games. Best of E3. Sony wins my vote for winner solely because they announced this game. I'm that excited for it. And there are a lot of other reasons I feel are more objective to give them the win, but God, I cannot express how excited and happy I am to see that this game is getting made, and $250 donation.
He actually told me that if he had money, he would get the jacket.
I would have, dude.
So, do you guys even want to talk about anything else on Sony?
Okay. Unicorn number 4. Call of Duty is for some reason on Sony platforms primarily now.
We already knew that.
Quake 5 is Sony primarily.
We already know that. We already knew that.
Okay. No, if I would have talked to you 2 years ago and told you, hey, Call of Duty's gonna be, Sony exclusive.
I mean,
DLC.
yeah, I would have said no way.
Exactly. Unicorn
This is
4, bitch.
weird. Like, that's just weird to me.
But can we also just take a second to talk about how godlike Quake 5 is?
Right? That shit looks hype as fuck.
The co-op campaign looked super fun. You get to augment your abilities and stuff like that, and you can, 4-player campaign co-op first in the series. The multiplayer looks super fast-paced and fun. Character customization, unlike anything else. Some really cool new abilities like teleportation and everything like that. It's Treyarch, so you know they're gonna pull all the stops to make this the best experience in the history of the franchise, like they always try to do. I cannot express how excited I am for this game. I'm getting it day one. There's not really much to say about it, but damn does it look fun. Damn does it look good. What else was there? There was also Firewatch. I don't know if you guys remember Firewatch. Firewatch was the one that was kind of...
It was like some weird...
Like, it looked like an adventure game. It started off as the guy was talking to the girl through the walkie. He was exploring the cave, and then it ended up he was in his tower, and then he was like, oh man, someone's in my tower. And it, you know, it just kind of ended on a huge cliffhanger mystery style thing.
There's just not enough there right now for me.
I'm really engaged in it. It looks super exciting. I'm kind of glad that they left it off on a mystery. They showed what the actual gameplay is going to be like, more adventure-y, puzzly. But they didn't spoil a lot of the story to where you're interested in getting into it. I think they could have showed a bit more story. Don't think it was a perfect announcement, but it was definitely really cool.
And I like survival games. I really do. I used to hate them, but after playing some really good ones like The Forest and Far Sky, I'm starting to dig survival games more, like games out in the woods and shit. I don't know. It's become my little bug that I'm having a lot of fun with.
No, I hear you. What about you, Reno? What do you think of Firewatch?
I have to see more of it.
I hear you.
I'm not that big on survival stuff.
See, I don't know if it's going to be a survival game or not. It looks like it's going to be more of a story-driven, single-player, adventure, platforming, puzzle style thing. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot to interpretation. No one really knows what genre it's going to be, and that definitely means that they didn't show enough. But I'm definitely excited for it. It was definitely cool. Media Molecule coming out with, they showed a lot more about Tearaway Unfolded. Well, before we get to their big new game announcement, they talked more about Tearaway Unfolded and how it's going to be a brand new experience. And Tearaway Unfolded looks fantastic. Tearaway is one of the best Vita games. It was the first Vita game I ever played. I got it the same day I got my Vita. It was a lot of fun. Definitely enjoy that game a lot. A really cute art style, all the paper mache and stuff like that. And Tearaway Unfolded just looks like it's going to expand the experience a lot more. It looks like one of the few games that's taking advantage of all the things the PS4 has to offer video games. And that's really cool. And then they announced their new game, which I don't know how to react to their new game.
I know it's going to be good because it's
Media Molecule.
It's going to be good, but it's like, you can tell they're still going with the creative thing, which that's just something Media Molecule does. They're just a creative company, and that's cool. I like it. However, I know that people are pieces of shit, and there's going to be a lot of animated dicks.
It's going to be a dream sex, like sexual fantasy style thing. I can tell there's already going to be a huge subculture within that game's community for Dreams, which is the name of the game, Dreams. And
it looks interesting, but
the art style looks really cool. It looks like it's going to have some amazing potential as a game. I cannot wait to see what people do with it in the right hands. But I already know too many wrong hands are going to get their hands on it.
Hi.
Yeah. See.
Hello.
We are in a Skype. We are doing a podcast with Hitler, ladies and gentlemen.
Animated dicks. Animated dicks. What's that over there? It's an animated dick.
And then they also announced a bunch of Devolver games that are coming to PS4.
Devolver is like stepping it up.
The bear! The Russian overkill, whatever the hell that was.
Mother Russia Must Die.
That was sick!
I don't know what it is with their game, but with their company, but they're like stepping it. They're slowly becoming AAA.
They had like a pseudo Atari 8-bit style graphic game that looked a lot like Diablo if it was done in that style of graphic, which looked really cool. They had the beat 'em up Mother Russia Must Die. They had a shmup style game, and then they had some other fourth game that I can't really remember.
Like Devolver is slowly becoming a AAA title company.
I'm very happy about that too. They're a fantastic company. So that was cool. They also talked about Batman Arkham Knight. They showcased what the actual Scarecrow missions are going to be like. I'll be playing it tomorrow. Which the Scarecrow missions look super, super exciting.
Well, 2 hours from now.
Right? I'm definitely excited for those levels. It threw me for such a loop. When I first saw the trailer and they just showed the clown mask and stuff, I thought it was a new Twisted Metal announcement. And I was like, oh my god, my dick. That's not what they were talking about, but whatever. I don't know what you guys thought about Arkham Knight.
I'm already buying it. So.
One thing I can say about Arkham Knight is rip in peace Devil May Cry 4. You tried. Why would you ever do That was such a
Thank
dumb
you, Base
move.
Capcom, for releasing Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition on the same day as Arkham Knight, and then
Yeah.
saying if Special Edition doesn't sell well, the series will not continue. So Devil May Cry as a series is dead. We had a good run, folks. We have one fantastic game that was based on a Resident Evil clone, so it didn't get fully finished and realized. We have a shitty sequel. We had Devil May Cry 3, which is the only game in that series that was realized to its full potential. We have Devil May Cry 4 that was rushed and only half finished. And then we have DMC, which is the black sheep of the series, and everyone hates it. So
The point
we
is-
have 1 out of 5 games that actually managed to live up to full potential and aren't at least hated by most people. Great. It's a
I
good
guess
note to
you're-
have a series die on.
You tried, I guess.
Fuck Capcom is the moral of the story. What else did they talk? They showed another Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Syndicate pre-rendered trailer. They talked about the female assassin Evie, which again, maybe I should get excited, but I don't know because they didn't show
Wait,
gameplay.
did you guys notice that the character from Parasite Eve is in the trailer for Final?
What?
No,
The
I
character
didn't.
from I forgot the name of the character, but she's from Parasite Eve. She's in the trailer of Final Fantasy VII.
It's probably just a lookalike. Because Square Enix doesn't even own the rights to that franchise anymore.
Yeah.
Which is
Come
why
on.
the third birthday exists, because that's technically Parasite Eve 3, but they didn't own the IP, so they couldn't call it Parasite Eve 3. They just had to heavily imply stuff, so they wouldn't get sued.
What are we talking about again? Oh, you
Assassin's
off,
Creed Syndicate trailer was really disappointing because it wasn't
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
gameplay.
Uncharted 4 looked
Uncarded. looks
yeah, it was
fantastic.
literally uncarded.
confirmed.
It was the biggest tease for Uncarded if I ever saw one.
Uncarded 4 is gonna happen, guys. I believe in it. But
Like
in all
uncarded
seriousness,
text. and,
Uncharted
like,
4 looks just as fun as the other games in the series. It's a very, very awesome franchise. And it's going to be awesome to,
Nathan's right.
give it one last go and say, goodnight.
I'm actually glad it's like
And
just
goodbye.
one more time and not like a year-based series.
Exactly. I'm definitely really excited for the game. It's
Mm.
going to be super fun. What else? I feel like there was something else.
No.
There were a couple E3
They actually
pre-E3
ended
things,
on
like-
Uncharted 4.
Yeah, they ended on Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I feel like there was something else that we're missing in between. It doesn't really matter. I
Like
know there were a couple
Hitman.
things that they announced before E3, like a few days before, like Ratchet and Clank 4 remaster, or Ratchet and Clank 1
I'm not gonna
remastered.
lie, they talked about Project Morpheus, but I kind of don't pay attention to
Well,
VR.
they didn't really talk about it that much, period. They just said Project Morpheus is a thing, it's going to be made on PS4, Valkyrie is a game that's going to use it, and then they stopped talking about it.
Basically.
Um,
So I guess that's really it for Sony. So
Great. I'll go first, 10 out of 10.
I say an A,
I
easily.
would give him an S.
God damn. Okay.
They announced tons of new IPs and they showed tons of promising things for those new IPs. They confirmed like 5 billion different unicorns existed, and they even showed a couple of Vita games. Oh! World of Final Fantasy was another game that they talked about.
I thought that was going to. Oh yeah.
That
It
was
a
right
big build.
before they announced Final Fantasy VII Remaster.
It was
That-
like
That game looked really fun. It kind of looked like Final Fantasy take on Pokemon, and it's coming out for the Vita.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
really excited for it. I'm legit like it looks like a lot of fun, and looks like a huge homage to Final Fantasy fans like me who are just super fans of the series. So I'm definitely excited for that. 10 out of 10, best conference of E3 forever and ever and ever. Shenmue 3 is happening. Let's move on to Nintendo.